Kling AI has recently updated with some new cool features, and their AI video models are getting better with their Kling AI 1.5 version. This has greatly improved the consistency and coherence of all the elements in the AI video generated results, and we'll take a look at that. How can we use the new motion control, which they refer to as motion brush? This new motion control, known as brush motions, will produce high-quality AI videos and enable you to control small movements within your image to video generation, as demonstrated in the image I'm currently displaying. We can also examine the high-resolution results produced by Kling AI 1.5, and we plan to utilize locally generated Flux images for this purpose. For instance, I've generated some images using the Flux workflow and am now transferring those results to Kling AI. Just like what I did last week using Runway to generate AI short movies. Right now, we can do similar things with Kling AI, and it's more controllable, I would say, compared to Runway. So let's check it out. First, we're going to go to Kling AI's main dashboard. As you can see, I've subscribed to the Pro membership, which has allowed me to unlock all features and obtain some credit for running the demos here. Unlike some of the other videos I saw, which used a lot of Kling AI press release stock footage to show their YouTube videos, I'm running my own videos here. Go to the Create Videos page, and you'll see Kling AI 1.0, which is the previous model we're using, still available right now. The new model, the 1.5 model, produces high resolutions, improves character consistency, and ensures coherence of every element within your generated result. I've done some testing with images and text-to-video for the best settings here. In this video, I will demonstrate how we can utilize image-to-video as our primary method. This involves generating scenes in Comfy UI using Flux models, then transferring those images to an AI video generator. So in this case, we're using both Kling AI 1.5 and 1.0. First of all, the motion brush is not available in version 1.5. As you can see, version 1.5 disables the motion brush. When we switch back to 1.0, this motion brush feature will be enabled. This feature pertains specifically to the image-to-video functionality. So let's check it out one by one from top to bottom that I've got a view of. Now this image is from our Discord friend, Mike. Mike creates many detailed images, and this is one of the images he created. So the raw footage will be a princess or king and holding his queen like a photo. And I tried to be creative with that, generating a short 5-second clip of the king discovering that his queen is pregnant. And then, it's got some happy moments, some kind of reaction in there. So how can we do that in very controllable motions where the hand is going down to touch the pregnant woman's stomach and both of them smile with happy faces for that? First of all, this is not for motion brushes. This is based on Kling 1.5 where I'm just doing a simple text prompt here. So it's cinematic scenes. A queen is pregnant, the king smiles and touches her pregnant stomach. So as you can see, just based on this very simple text prompt here, and using Kling 1.5 is able to create something really nice, although in the first second the hand is not in the right position. But then, of course, if you can see the source image, it was like that, and we were laughing in the Discord about this misbehaving hand touching the wrong position of the woman. But then I tried to fix that in this AI video, going back to the right place and touching the pregnant woman. So that is something funny. And the next one is going to be from Basic. He creates some cool images as well. And this one, the original image is like this. So for Runway or other AI video generators right now, we are mostly, if we plug this kind of image into the AI video generator, it will be some kind of camera panning left and right or some slow motions of a cinematic style scene for those few seconds. But in Kling AI, I am able to create more actions within those 5 seconds. So in this scene, I saw that of course, the guy was holding a rifle and it was done in a futuristic style. We can manipulate this image to create a scene where a guy is holding a rifle up. Despite being a right-handed individual, the dominant eye's placement is incorrect. The focus should be directed towards the right eye instead of the left eye. However, you can fix this by generating the motions a few more times or fine-tuning them. I'm kind of picky about the rifle because, as you can see, it originally had iron sights. In the first second, the rifle has iron sights. Then, after 2 and 3 seconds, it turns into something that looks like a red dot on the front. The device on the back doesn't know what that is. It simply generates a black box-like device on the rifle's back. And the buttstock of the rifle is gone. In the first scene here, we had a buttstock, but in the last scene, look at that. The buttstock has disappeared. I'm kind of picky for action scenes when it comes to this kind of thing. But it's already good that I can control the hands holding up the rifle and the head peeking down to the red dot. So how can I do the actions, the motions here? I'm using the motion brush. In Area 1 in Kling AI here, you can do auto segment. Whenever you turn this option on, you can just highlight those objects by clicking on them. But for something you want to do in more detail, for example, if it can't detect the whole arms by using auto segment, then I have to manually highlight that myself. So it feels like in painting to do such highlighted actions here. As you can see, I'm adding more on the side edge of each thing. Then in area 1, I'll define it as 2 arms, and area 2 is the head peeking down. So this tracks 2 areas. When you click on this button, you're able to start drawing. For example, I erase that old action track and draw a new one for area 2, which is the head peeking down like this. So it will track the motions of this purple area peeking down to this place, and the rifle will go up a little bit higher to here. That matches the motions of a guy holding a rifle and holding it up. Then the head peeks down to aim through the scope. That's the motion of how we can do it using the motion brush. Some other things, such as area 4, which is the pink color, this is the body, the whole body of this guy. I turned it a little bit slightly to the left, which allows the guy's shoulder to hold up the rifle. It kind of turns the body a little bit, allowing the whole motion to be smooth in this scene. And that's something we can do with the motion brush. This isn't a new thing. Runway Gen 2 already had the motion brush. But then Runway Gen 2 wasn't the Transformer AI video architecture, I would say. I assume they're based on something like Stable Video Diffusion, those previous generations of AI video models to do motion brush. Therefore, the Kling AI motion brush for 1.0 is kind of better. The quality of everything isn't going to change. You can see, although there are some parts where the AI model didn't understand what this rifle object is, but then the whole motion of the guy holding up and then the head peeking down is kind of doing a good job here. And the second example, again from Basic, is one of his generated images shared on Discord. This is the original image example, and here I've done just a very slight turning around of this character and the head peeking up. Then he looks at the tall tower behind him. Those motions are again done by the motion brush in Kling 1.0. Here, as you can see, I've highlighted the head part of the character and also the upper chest. I do a little bit of tracking. It starts to turn a little bit to the right side first, and then goes up to the upper left. So it allows the guy's head to just turn a little bit to the right and then turn up to the left to look at the tall building behind him. Again, I just do the body and the lower body to follow up those motions with the head as well, so it's able to create a smooth turning, a little turning to the left to look up at the tall building in the background. And there's one thing we can do in the motion brush, which is the static area. So for the static area here, I've highlighted all this in black for the building. The walls behind the characters, all these concrete walls should be static. They should not be moving or morphing. So I've set these rules for this motion this time. The pink area, in which I highlight some plants on the left and right sides here. This allows the plants and the leaves to have a little movement, as if the wind is blowing. It feels like the wind is blowing a little bit. Therefore, the character's hair is kind of moving. And as you can see, some parts of the leaves here are kind of moving as well. Not too much, just a little bit. When I put the tracking for the pink area, it's just a slightly small motion track here. So the motion brush is very usable to control little motions or parts of the scenes, how you want the character to react within those few seconds, or even if you extend it to 10 seconds. And the next example, which personally I like, is this one. So the male character, I call this the king and the queen. This motion is the king carrying the queen, running out from a fire-burning castle. And here I did the motion brush as well. Here, basically, the whole image is using a motion brush to control whatever movement in this 5-second scene. First of all, as you see, the yellow color highlighted is the king's head and hair. I slightly go a little bit to the right and turn it to the left. This allows the AI to identify these motions to control the head turning a little bit. Look at the queen that he is carrying, and then turn left, going back to look at the castle that is burning on fire. Again, the areas of all this part are able to be controlled from left to right. The blue areas here are controlling the king and the queen walking forward. As you can see right here, we've got the arrows that instruct the AI to control this part walking forward a little bit. Meanwhile, in the green area, which is the burning fire castle, I just highlight those areas and do some tracking for the fire to move a little bit left and right. As you can see, the tracking for the green color regions is like a snake going left and right like that. That allows the fire to burn and move randomly. Lastly, we do some small motions for the queen's hair and the dress going a little bit till up. That's simulating how the wind's blowing while they are walking. So therefore, we've got these motions like that. And I like these motions. This scene, the whole structure creation of this scene is beautiful. This is another example of using a motion brush. Again, I control the left and right arms in different areas. This is the first try with the motion brush to control the right arm holding a sword to pull up. And the left hand follows up with the right hand a little bit to go up. We are able to create those small motions like this. But then there's something not perfect here. Of course, as you can see, the sword starts morphing. When the warrior is holding up the sword in the left hand, it creates some kind of small blade. But it doesn't really understand what kind of object that is for the AI. And I didn't put too much text prompt in the beginning of this scene. But it's good that you can control the arms and the body twist a little bit on the left side, allowing the smooth motions of the whole few seconds of the character holding up the sword. This is another example of using Kling AI 1.5, which has much better enhancement, although we still can't use the motion brush for 1.5 yet. But their prompt following and their dynamic scene motions are doing very well for 1.5. As well as this scene, we're just doing a simple text prompt here. Cinematic scene, characters chatting and drinking. This allows the AI to get more freedom to create whatever it has based on the first image in the first second here. And it does expand the whole environment, and it's adding this character to this scene as well, holding a drink and chatting and talking, and also this guy on the left. It is created by Kling AI as well. So it's very good for this update 1.5, very dynamic. And here again, another 1.5 generated result, the chatting and talking on the lips. Very coherent, very stable, nothing morphing too much. But of course, we can still improve. Do a lot of improvement if we have to be picky to do perfect scenes. And the 1.5 after the updates of Kling AI is performing a lot better than what it used to be before. So the market is kind of exciting for AI video models right now, as we see a lot of cool stuff going on. And the updates every month keep adding new stuff in AI video models, AI animation models, and also in the archive. There are a lot of research papers going on, new research papers about AI videos as well. So let's try other example together in here. I have some scenes that I just generated in Comfy UI. What I'll do is first use the control motion brush to control the character's movement. I'll be controlling this flying dragon moving from left to right, the character, this warrior holding two axes. I assume I could control two arms holding up those axes and animate the fire behind the burning castle to be moving as well. Some motions for the hair to be moving, and of course, the outfit, the dress, it will be moving a little bit, simulating the wind blowing from left to right. So let's try this one. We'll be using Kling 1.0. And here we have the draw motions. Come to here, we've got area 1. Let's define area 1 as first the dragon. So this dragon will be highlighted as a green color. And I do a tracking. Area 2 will be defined as the fire behind the burning castle. We don't have to exactly highlight the place, but it's good to be more precise on the areas you're highlighting. Then it's good enough. The AI is able to identify what kind of object that is. You can also use segments. Let's see if the segments are able to identify the fire. And yes, we can do that here. For more freedom to control whatever item that is, it's just good to manually highlight those places you want to highlight. For example, this black smoke on the top as well. And for this third one, I'll animate the hair and the dress, the outfit of the character, but we'll be putting very similar directions from left to right, so it feels like the fires are burning and the wind is blowing from left to right. The length of the tracking path also affects how big the movement for those motions will be. If I put like short, small arrows like that, it will be slightly moving, not a big movement. You'll see it later when I generate the examples. The pink area is going to be the arms of this warrior. I'll be highlighting these places as well as the left and right hands. That will be basically the motions of that. Lastly, I'll put a static area to control the castle. Not going to move so much like this building. That's going to turn it black again. You can set the brush size a little bit to just do it quicker, a faster way to highlight everything here. So there you go. You've got all the motions here and the paint color here. That's very important. We have to tell the motions of these two arms holding up a little bit sliced up like that. It will be perfect. Then in the text prompt area, we'll be defining the actions and what they are. Again, I like to use cinematic scenes for the beginning, and I'd say, female warrior holding up the axe and fire burning, the dragon is flying as well. We can just use this text prompt from Flux workflow as well to do, that's coming from the Florence too, and I've added some extra stuff here, this sentence I was adding by myself. And we can try this one. Very easy to do. Okay, so after you define that, have the motion path. And I like to do professional mode for the motion path. It will be seeing more coherence and the objects are more stable. And there, that's all we need to configure it. Let's try this time. Set 2 video generations. So we'll have 2 results at the same time. Just like how we did in Comfy UI, we set 4 images, generate each batch, and we'll get 4 images. So wait for that, and we'll come back later. Okay, so we got 2 results here. The first one, yep, it's following what I expect to be in the motion brush. Again, we instructed the arms going up and the dragon flying from left to right, and the fire is burning in one direction. Following with the hair and the clothing as well, and we can see that it's very coherent, very consistent styles. As you can see right here, very consistent styles. But there's some morphing on the axe right there because at the beginning of the frame, maybe it's not showing the axe. It's purely generated by the AI video models in the end. That part only. And in the second scene here, we got a better picture, better motions of everything. And I like the second result of this one. The arms are more dynamically pulling up, like the victory kind of scenes after the war. And then the fire burning behind is going in one direction. Feels like the wind is coming from the left side to the right. And we have those dresses and those outfits flowing in one direction as well. So it's very nice. Using the motion brush, we can create more controllable dynamic scenes with this style rather than just if we don't use the motion brush or like other AI video generators, it will be mostly like a camera panning style, those boring motions like standing still here. And then the camera is panning left and right, something like that. But with the motion brush in Kling AI are able to create the scenes more dynamically, and the actions of everything in that scene are going to be moving individually without any morphing or deformations of, for example, the arms or even the dragons. No deformations. That is way better than what we used to have before. Here are some examples that I did on the Kling AI Chinese website version as well. I tested both international and Chinese versions, and they're both available with the same features. I've reused one of the image scenes here, as well as a few other image scenes that I did in last week's AI movies. The character walking in these dark hallways carrying an axe isn't in that short movie, but we created a lot of scenes like that in Runway before. We also used Flux to generate those images, but this time we're able to control the character movement and what we want to be in this scene. So I controlled this guy holding the axe. The lower part of the body is walking forward and the left hand is doing something else, enhancing the dynamic motions. And the head, I controlled it, tilting left and right, so it's able to do something like that with this scenery style. The next example I want to show is this one. It's like the character from the hallways walking in first-person view. It saw this kind of crazy man appearing behind the door frame, but then this doesn't follow what I expected in this generated result, which is this guy turning into this monster, turning into a guy holding up a flashlight. So it's kind of a funny experience, but it is what it is for these motions. But the last one here, which is a lot better, the last example here, which I did what I really expected it to be, is in the first frame here, which is like a scary zombie nurse standing in the room. It's supposed to be a first-person view, and I couldn't produce these motions in Runway without the motion brush control for the zombie nurse. So this monster is going to run toward the main character from the first-person view. It's trying to chase the character, and I can do that in this motion brush using Kling AI to control the monster running forward like that. It's very simple, just using one tracking and one control of the monster walking forward to here, and that's how I can create these scenes more dynamically. Maybe we can extend these scenes like walking forward and the camera turning around and running to another hallway or direction. So that's how we can improve the AI video generation results with the motion brush. And also, the Kling AI 1.5 models are doing a lot better for what we have in AI video generation. So yeah, that's it for this video. We're having more tools from image generation using Flux to create more detailed of images and bringing them to AI video models to create some dynamic scenes like that. I'll assume or predict these are going to get better and better in the future as the AI models are going to be better trained with more data sets provided to get better. And we'll see how that goes in the later versions or in the market of AI videos. So I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day. See y'all.